A verb and verbs that are similar to the conjugation of the verb HUIR is HUIR. HUIR means to flee or to run away from, and it is, I like to point out, a HUIR verbs, and other HUIR verbs that will follow this type of conjugation are construir, contribuir, destruir, and the list is actually quite long. It does include all those verbs with HUIR, except for those GUIR, except like seguir, for example. Those that are HUIR are included in this list. And it's, again, very similar. Very similar to what HUIR does, in that in the conjugation in the preterite tense, if you knock off the IR, you are left with this HU, yo, u, and then because it's in a preterite tense, ER, IR verb in the preterite tense, the yo form will get an I with an accent. The tu, again, you follow the conjugation patterns, u, and then the preterite ending for the tu is tu oíste, so yo oí, tu oíste, and él, ella, usted, you get to the third conjugation, singular, you put u, u, yo. Again, if you remember, if you put in from my HUIR, if you remember from my HUIR conjugation video, the normal or the regular spelling pattern in this section of the conjugation would be the HU and then add an I-O with an accent on the O. However, if you do that, you get this funny looking and awkward type spelling U-I-O. It just does not look right. And so the way Spanish does it, or takes care of this, is that it turns the I into a Y. Again, similar to what HUIR does in the third person conjugation, singular and plural. The nosotros conjugation is again oímos, and the vosotros conjugation, if you remember, you take the tu form, which is right here, and just add an is, and in the preterite, that is how you get the vosotros conjugation as well. Oísteis, oístes. Ellos, ellas, ustedes. You would normally put an I-E-R-O-N. However, that would again lead to this awkward and funny looking spelling, as I like to tell my students. So what Spanish does, again, turns the I into a Y, and you have huyeron. Entonces ellos, ellas, ustedes huyeron. So yo oí, tú oíste, él, ella, usted huyó, nosotros oímos, vosotros huyisteis, y ellos, ellas, ustedes huyeron. Again, if you conjugate using the two-column format, you have the singular conjugation on the left and the plural conjugation on the right. This bottom row, as I like to call it, the basement to my students, is where the spelling change occurs, and that I and this conjugation is going to turn into a Y. The difference between HUIR and HUIR type verbs from HUIR and verbs like HUIR, remember from the video leer, creer, caer, is that HUIR type verbs are not going to get those added or extra accents on the I. So there is no accent on this I like there would be in HUIR. There is no accent on this I or on this one. So HUIR type verbs, as I like to tell my students, follows the traditional and regular accent pattern. It gets accents on the I of yo, uyi, and accent on the él, ella, usted, huyó.